None of us are perfect. Are we? Are you awake?
Yeah, I'm not
Testing.
sure.
1, 2.
I'm not sure this is true statement. Swami says sons should not leave their parents. Something.
House.
Oh, how?
House after marriage?
No, it's not house. After marriage. Is this practical in today's society?
I don't know what it says.
I can't figure the one word out. But
Swami said sons should not leave their parents. It's house.
is it house?
House after
Oh.
marriage. Huh? Parents' house after marriage. Do sons live with their parents? Huh? Is this practical in today's society? I've never heard Swami say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows something I don't. I never
There's
heard
a
Swami.
difference between honor, and things like this. I do know we were in New York at a conference, and an Indian man came up to me in tears and said, "My son has thrown me out of the house and I live in a hotel now. What do I do?" And, I said, "What can I say? I don't know what to do. How can I go see Swami?" I said, "Well, try to go see him." His culture was so, who knows what conflicts was going on? Who knows what happened? Maybe somebody was abusive to the spouse or something in the relationship. I know many times I have a very dear friends in a mixed marriage. The mother of the boy speaks in a dialect from India, and the spouse, the lady, his wife, does not understand. That's not love. She feels that this separation from the mother-in-law, because she is speaking something to her husband she doesn't understand. That's not a loving relationship. The lady says she's a devotee. How can she be a devotee and treat her son's wife that way? She really can't. She doesn't understand Swami's teachings. But this something inside of her once is doing it. I don't know why. Who knows the head trips these people go through and what she's doing, but it's not love.
You see what happens if you don't have a good relationship with your spouse? You transfer that love to your children. And many times you want to hang on to your children to get their attention and love when you should really be getting it from your spouse. And so it creates a lot of problems. That's why it's so important for a husband and wife to have a good relationship so they can build a strong, healthy foundation for the kids. There's a time that we have to let go. And when your children get married, it's time to let go. They now have their own life to lead. And we were very fortunate with each other's parents. Our parents never interfered. They may not have agreed with us, but they never interfered in our life. And I respected them so very much. And it also taught me not to interfere in my children's life. They're going to make mistakes after they're married. How do you think the two of us grew and learned? It was from the mistakes that we made, you see? So many times parents want to throw out a safety net, and they want to protect their child to a degree that they don't want him to live. I mean, you can use all the words you want on a child. Let's say he's old enough to be on his own or married. But many times, they're not ready to listen. They have to find their own way. And Swami tells us when you become a grandmother, when you're 50, start observing. When you're 60, you see, it's important for us to be examples. I'm not saying don't go and be, don't go to the household. Be good examples for your children. But telling them what to do does not work. My mom said to me once, I only want to give you one piece of advice. And when my first daughter got married, and she says, never tell your children what to do after they get married. and it was a good piece of advice. It keeps harmony and respect and separation. Once you leave your parents' home, you honor, respect, and do things for your mother and dad. But to have mother and dad sitting in between us, I just got done doing a role play that you've seen causes so much trouble. You got to find your own way and get rid of the programming that existed from your parents.
But then respect them, as Swami says, and love them.
Respect them, love them, help them, whatever. I had our parents over for dinner. You know, his parents are mine all the time. We had birthday parties at our house every month. All the holidays, they always came.
And incorporate them in your family, but yet find out who you are too. Balance activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Swami serious when he says women should not work? Of course. Of course.
Wait a minute. Now that is, you just spent all this time saying how women who stay at home don't work. You just got through saying
Is
that.
Swami serious when he says women should not work?
What?
She meant
I
a
know,
career.
I know, I'm just
I
teasing
think this
you
person
there.
meant a career. If I'm having trouble reading your handwriting and answering the questions wrongly, please, you know.
I want to tell you this.
Swami says, his quotes are, he wants to educate women, and he wants women to go through universities and get degrees. But it's for the purpose, if they're going to get married and have children, it's for the purpose of having character development in their children. That's what's important, is to save a soul that is born, to raise them to a higher status. You don't want the child to go to a lesser status, right? It's not easy. Women don't want to stay in the home. And when they get a fancy degree and they're out in the work field, to come back in the home and stay there is boring. And they don't want to do it. I think I had it much easier because I got married, didn't have a career, and stayed at home, and it was just a natural thing. So I didn't have that big adjustment.
It's difficult staying at home.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's why the husbands and the fathers and everybody, grandfathers need to praise. We praise our kids all the time for staying at home, the mothers. Oh, we are so proud of you. You're doing such great work. My daughter, she had a question for Swami we asked, and just to give you his idea. She stayed in home mother. She's got 1619. She's now doing some small assistant teaching. But she's home during the off hours. I mean, she's at school when the kids are at school, but she wants to write children's storybooks. So she said she thinks I can ask Swami anything. I mean, she's always got these lists of questions, and it's the first time we've even asked Swami a question about it. I said, Swami, I said, my daughter wants to write storybooks. I said, for children. I said, can she do this? Swami said, yes, but no full-time work. It is her duty to stay home with her children. Does that answer your question?
He said no 8-hour works.
And she's got she's got a big fancy degree.
Yes. In other words, no permanent job.
No permanent job. In other words, he knew she was doing part-time job. Substitute teaching, but not a full-time career. Now, please don't misunderstand me. There are situations where there's single parents that